All right, so let's bring in Benoit Le Roy, CEO of SA Water Chamber. Joins us now. Mr. Le Roy, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for your time. So I want to just go back to what we saw in December with Rand Water's December maintenance. We saw, of course, that it did this extensive phase 2, I believe. They are going into phase 3 in early January. It was meant to improve, long-term bulk supply reliability, but the work that we saw there has restricted bulk flows. Early this year, we also heard that residents of Johannesburg were complaining about a stench coming through their taps. They were then advised by Johannesburg Water not to drink their water. Now, with this particular situation, what do we make of what is currently happening now in terms of our bulk water, also our water supply?
Yeah, hi to you and to the viewers. Yes, in a very difficult situation. So there's two separate issues. The first issue is there's no problem in the bulk supply, neither in December nor now. The bulk supply, you can see, Rand Water still has to abstract more than its permitted license. It does it under a special resolution from the Minister of Water Sanitation, because it simply cannot satisfy the excessive demand by the metros, principally Johannesburg and Tshwane. And the reason it can't meet it is because those metro systems are leaking profusely at 25 to 35% physical leaks. It's a component of the non-revenue water. So when the demand increases or there's shutdowns, etc., the system just collapses. So that's on the one side. The distribution side, which is on the Johannesburg side, is where the system has not enough storage capacity. It has less than 12-hour storage capacity. It should have 48 hours because the systems were not upgraded and maintained in the last 30 to 40 years. So it's not an overnight thing. So what happens is any interruption from the bulk supply, instead of having the 2-day storage, which I enjoy in Cape Town at the moment, by the way, we've had quite a few outages, and the water's not out. The bulk supply has had to shut down for up to 2 days, but we've still had water. So we need water in the city's storage system, the metro storage system. So that's the one side of it. What Rand Water is busy doing is improving and upgrading the bulk supply system for more supply that will come from the Soweto Highlands Phase 2 later this century. We are 10 years late, so it's going to be 2028, 2030, because the project started late because of well-known reasons. That capacity has to be taken into the metro systems. So Rand Water has to upgrade its supply. It's upgraded its treatment plants. It's upgrading its reservoirs, upgrading its bulk systems. But what it's also doing is putting in certain amount of redundancy within the system that will help isolate smaller sections, so that when they do future maintenance, they don't impact massive parts of the distribution system. So that's on the water side. What's happened on the sanitation side is that the systems are not being maintained at all. You're supposed to be doing jetting, which is high pressure cleaning of the sewer systems. We don't see the vacuum trucks doing that anymore. And so you get a lot of blockages. And what happens is when the blockage gets severe, you get overflows, and it actually overflows into the broken water distribution pipes. And that's what happened where there was a notice that sewage had entered the system. So in essence, our water system's broken, our sanitation system broken at a city level. So 2/3 of South Africa is like that. So Johannesburg is in actual fact just the big one out of the lot. So that's really the two issues that we have at the moment.
Yeah. And I mean, this is having a ripple effect. It's having a ripple effect on households. It's having a ripple effect on health institutions, as well as economic disruptions. Are you having any sort of engagements as SA Water Chamber with, the relevant parties here? What are we saying and what are we seeing in terms of coordination?
So we were very involved in helping improve policy over the last decade. So that was done at national government level, which is the custodian of water, to improve policy so that accountability can be enforced, water quality requirements can be improved, because we now have emerging contaminants. SANS 241, the drinking water standard, has been upgraded. Also, we have the National Infrastructure Plan 2050, which allows and recommends private sector participation to supplement let's say, the lack of not only finances, but institutional knowledge and innovation within government. Now, local government is the water service authority and distributor of the services. So be it sanitation, collection and treatment, and the water distribution from a bulk water service provider. Now, that is constitutionally, local government is independent. The chasm we have is there is no mechanism to force local government to adhere to national policy. So some legislation has been passed late last year to enforce new licensing conditions, to establish an independent water regulator. And I've been very vocal about this since about 2017, 2018, with various parties, that we need an independent water regulator to regulate national government, to regulate local government, and to regulate the catchment management agencies. Unfortunately, none of this is actually gone any further because the legislation normally has up to 2 years for it to be enforced and adapted. So what we're hearing a lot about is what's on the table, but not how we're actually going to eat this all up, how we're going to really implement it. And I think this year is going to be the year to see how we actually do this. And it's a difficulty in getting local government with its own politics and economics, and this is where GDP is generated, to actually adhere to national policy. It's highly politicized, which introduces more problems. So, and Johannesburg Water is a very good example where, through the politics, they don't have the money. They can't pay their subcontractors to actually maintain the system since January last year, not this year, last year. That 4 billion rand that was swept out of their account. That's not a new thing. It's been happening quite a while. So we need the councils to put the money in the right places. And we see the energy distribution systems in Johannesburg failing. We see the water distribution systems failing. But those utilities, who are wholly owned by the city, are not being funded by the city. The money is being used for other things. Plus, there is some fiscal, let's say, pressure where money is not coming in as well as it should. And there's also credit management problems where, the collections from Johannesburg and most municipalities has just decreased. So they're not paying their bulk providers like Eskom, the Rand Waters, Gainis, etc. And what's happening is we could face a collapse of not only electricity as Eskom, which is being subsidized by all of us now annually through the fiscus, but also of the bulk water service providers. And that means the cities will be switched off. There will be no water. So we've really got to try and get this complex, a lot of moving parts. We've got to get these to talk together. And unfortunately, I don't believe we have the institutional capacity to do it at the moment. So the private sector is waiting to be more and more involved. There's a lot of appetite to do it, but we just don't see the traction yet. But we are trying.
All right, Benoit, thank you so much for speaking to us. Very disturbing indeed. Benoit Le Roy, CEO of SA Water Chamber, just speaking to us there about those ongoing water challenges.